Imagine being married for 8 years and suddenly discovering a side of your partner that she has kept hidden since high school. One casual conversation about your son turns into a revelation that changes everything you thought you knew about your relationship. I am a 30-year-old man talking to my wife, who is a 30-year-old woman yesterday, and she jokingly mentions how our 3-year-old son is clearly going to be a ladies' man because he is constantly trying to find ways to snuggle and touch women's chests and bottoms. In response, I said, of course, what man does not? I even know many straight women and gay men who appreciate feeling some nice chests or a good bottom. She then told me we can never be sure. However, because she has been attracted to women, and if it is genetic, he could be attracted to men too when he is older. I was floored. We have been married for 8 years, known each other since elementary school, so we have had some pretty deep conversations. We have also had some very detailed discussions of what we are into, since we are both pretty big on communication. I cannot help but feel like this is a huge secret she has been keeping from me. I realize this is selfish in a way, and I cannot say I am upset at her for it, but it is just such a shocking revelation. I had to ask her more, of course, when I realized she was serious, and she explained that she discovered it in high school, had a few encounters with girls that we both know, and has had a few crushes over the years but never really pursued anything, especially once we were together. I told her I could not believe she has kept this from me for so long. She said it is not something she is totally comfortable talking about, and I jokingly said, but think of all the fun we could have had in college. She laughed at that and said, trust me, there were plenty of opportunities I was too scared to mention to you back then. I laughed it off, and we went about our day, but now the curiosity is eating away at me. I do not want to push her more because she mentioned how it makes her uncomfortable to talk about, but I know myself, and there is no way I will be able to just let this go. Where do I go from here? Family? It keeps coming up, but please understand I am not assuming that her being attracted to women means that she wants 3-person relationships. That is a stereotype I do not subscribe to. We have had that talk. She has made her requirements very clear for what that situation would entail, which I mentioned in a comment down below. I am sorry to anyone I have offended, but that was not my intention. I have had to say this a few times, so I figured I would just add it to the post. I am not concerned that she has cheated on me. We have always had good communication, which is part of why this is shocking to me, but I am happy she felt comfortable enough to reveal this part of herself, especially in such a casual and funny manner. Married 8 years but dating for over a decade at this point. We are not necessarily a new couple, and we have had our fair share of tough conversations, but she is still the light of my life, along with our children. I trust her completely and I feel it is reciprocated. I am just really curious to learn more about this side of her that I did not know existed. I am sure there have been struggles I know nothing about, and moments where she maybe wanted to tell me something but has not. That is okay, I have no ill will towards her. In fact, it is substantially the opposite. I just want to understand more in a compassionate way, because I really did not see this coming. Some of you all need therapy, honestly, but it is Reddit, so I cannot say I am super surprised. Also, those of you that keep bringing up my 3-year-old son and his thing with women's chests and bottoms as a sexual thing, please go educate yourselves. Toddlers and young children finding humor in poking and touching pretty much any soft body part is totally normal, and the fact that we make jokes about it is just part of how we cope with this embarrassing phase. For some children it is a hard habit to break, but for most children it goes away as they learn more about personal space. I am sure not all children do it, but the majority do. Thank you to everyone who has given me input so far. I will keep reading comments, but I think I have settled on not mentioning anything until we have a moment alone. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, not sure, but I am happy. As for the update, it has been a pretty great weekend so far on our end. We took a trip to the beach with some family and had a lot of fun. After reading through all the comments and finally deciding on how to bring up the conversation, however, she was actually the one to bring it up to me. We were taking a walk down the beach while the children played with the family. My wife said she wanted to see the pier, but the children wanted to stay back building sandcastles with a couple of cousins, so we took advantage of a little alone time for a nice stroll. As we were walking along the shore, and not out of the ordinary, my wife mentioned how pretty a couple of women looked that were just cutting in front of us from the water to the sand. She has always been a people watcher, and her mentioning a good-looking person or two while we have been together is not odd, But now that I know she finds women more than just pretty, I saw this as my opening to touch on the subject. I asked her to hear me out for a moment and proceeded to thank her for opening up to me the other day regarding her attraction to women. I also let her know that I was very curious about the opportunities she mentioned, but I understood if she just was not open to talking about them yet. I apologized for bringing it up again, but I told her that it has been on my mind since she mentioned it and she has a right to know my thoughts. She hugged me, and as she held me, she thanked me for not overreacting and said that this has been one of the hardest things she has ever had to confess. She said she's been wanting to talk to me about it for years, but was afraid that as more time passed, the harder I would take it. She said this part of her in no way affected her feelings for me, that I am still the love of her life, and she is not looking to go off and explore her feelings, but that she would love to be able to talk to me about it as we normally do when I have seen an attractive woman, or when she has seen an attractive man. I told her I was overjoyed that we now had another thing in common to talk about. Because yes, women are beautiful and attractive, and this opens the door for us to have more open conversations. She then said, "Ask me all of your questions." And I was unfortunately very eager. I started by asking for some background, such as when did she first notice women in a romantic way? Had she ever pursued a romantic relationship with a woman, and so on? And she was brutally honest. I'm not going to go into detail, but essentially, she said she has always felt a type of attraction to both men and women, since at least middle school. Due to her upbringing, the attraction to women was always considered wrong, so she did not really explore that until high school. She gave me some names of girls we knew, and I was so jealous. My wife had been involved with a few of the most attractive girls from back in the day, and granted, she herself was one of them if you ask our former classmates, and I could not wipe the silly smile off my face the whole time she spoke. She then explained how, once we started dating, she essentially tried to lock that part of herself away because she did not want to scare me off or make me think she was being unfaithful with her close female friends. But she did mention several instances where in college, some of the girls we knew had approached her regarding some three-person opportunities with me involved. This is where she admitted that she never told anyone. I am the first person she has opened up to about it, aside from random online forums. I told her I was honored, and I confessed that after she brought it up, I also took my thoughts to Reddit. She told me she was not too happy about that at first, but she knows I was very careful about it, and preferred that to me having asked someone we know in real life, because she is not ready to talk about this with anyone but me yet. I thanked her again for the trust and swore this would stay with me if she never told anyone else. But I also told her that she has absolutely nothing to be ashamed of if she ever decided to tell someone. She gave me a kiss, and by this time we had gotten to the pier, walked its whole length, and were almost back down the shore to our family. She asked me to send her the link to the original post and to this one once it is typed up. I said, of course. And then I told her we were going to play a people-watching game, 1 to 10, with 10 being the most attractive. I told her to start. She picked a woman at first and said 8. I agreed, then stared directly at her and said 10. When she asked who, I said I am staring right at her, which earned me a blushing smile and another kiss. Later that night, once the children were asleep and she had read some of the previous post, she said she would still be willing to have a 3-person experience with another woman involved, but she agreed with one of my comments that involving another person in our romantic life right now would be too difficult. So maybe once the children are a little older, and we can have them do a sleepover at a family member's house for the night. Until then, she said we will just have to make better use of the blindfolds. This was an instant excitement for me, but any hopes of fun were crushed by our crying baby, so maybe tonight. Overall, this experience has just reinforced our thoughts on the importance of trust and open communication about everything. I will take any questions or comments now. If you were in this situation, how would you react? Would you feel betrayed, curious, or excited to know this new side of your partner? Share your thoughts in the comments, and do not forget to like and follow for more real-life relationship stories.